Have you checked your trade value on your bike lately? If not, you definitely should. What's up, guys? Chef here with Riding Free. Been gone for a few weeks doing some home renovations and had to visit my son in Colorado, but I'm back putting out content. I'm excited. I've missed you guys, and definitely want to talk about something important today that most people probably have no idea what's going on right now, and that is the Harley Davidson motorcycle market. Now, some people just may not care. You may love your bike, you may have just gotten a new bike, it may not be relevant to you, but I'm telling you, big things are happening in the market right now, and it is definitely changing some dynamics, so maybe something you want to pay attention to. Now, I want to preface this because I've had people before, when I've shared information, said, hey, where do you get your numbers, what's your resume? This, kids, is what I do for a living. I work at a dealership and I deal with this every single day, so I'm not going to post my resume for you. If you are somebody who works in a shop and builds things on a machine and you tell me how the machine works, I'm just simply going to trust your judgment because that's what you do for a living. So this is something that I have spent a lot of time looking at, especially since January and when the new 24 models came out. Now, backing up a little bit into the tail end of 2023, let's go to the middle of 2023. Harley Davidson came out with the 2023 and a half CVO models, Platinum and Whiskey Fire, Street Glide, Road Glide. The whole world knows that there were leaked photos and those motorcycles end up coming out, and we got a glimpse of what was to come. And at the time when those came out, I said, I guarantee you that is what the new Street Glide and Road Glide are going to look like. So those bikes came out. So Harley Davidson had a great idea in what they were doing, and really, what do you do with the leftover stuff that you have? Well, you send it out to dealers. So last fall, tail end of last year, Harley Davidson really started dumping 2023 Street Glide and Road Glide inventory on dealers. Street Glide, Road Glide standards, specials, and ST models. And at the time, nobody knew, dealer-wise, nobody knew what was going on other than, hey, we're just getting a bunch of bikes. But the motor company definitely had a plan. Now, something not a lot of people know is some dealers pay tax on motorcycles that are on the floor. They don't specifically own the motorcycle. Some dealers do. So, in those cases, when those motorcycles are sitting on the floor for an extended period of time, the motor company is still making money. From a motor company standpoint, definitely a smart gig for sure. Now, for the rest of us in the normal world, we didn't think anything of it. And motorcycle values change every month. Same thing with car values. Everything that you own as a vehicle is a depreciating asset. Now, yes, you may have some classic automobiles that, obviously have a different value or retained value, and I'm just talking about normal everyday vehicles like a normal everyday motorcycle I'm riding. So values go down every month, and it's usually not much. I keep an eye on it, especially with my bike. I like to analyze the data and what's going on, and usually it's not much. Now, 2024 rolls in. It's a whole new year. Everybody's motorcycle is a little bit older, and your bike values go down a little bit more because it's the turn of a year. So between 2023 December and 2024, my motorcycle value went down like 3.8%. Okay, not a huge deal, but come January 25th, 2024, when the new release of the Harley Davidson motorcycles came out, and everybody's all abuzz about the new stuff, and there's tons of inventory out there, the market switch took place. Now, let's back up even a smidge further in the whole last few years with COVID. You know, when COVID hit, Harley slowed production just like everybody else did because of COVID issues. And at the time, inventory was a significant issue. And for dealers to get motorcycles, specific motorcycle that you wanted in a specific color you wanted, became a problem because the inventory wasn't there. And because of supply and demand curves, we won't get into business and economic stuff, but because of supply and demand curves, the value of motorcycles, new and pre-owned motorcycles, went up, including your trade value went up. So your motorcycle was worth a lot more. I mean, people were ecstatic to trade in their motorcycle and, you know, get something new because their bike was worth so much. Now, fast forward to 2024, inventory is no longer an issue. Harley's inventory and production is back up to a normal volume. They produce a new product. Bang, market switch. So, what happens to your specific trade value? Well, it has gone down and it has plummeted. So, between January 1st, when I checked my motorcycle value on my bike, and the release of the 2024s, my motorcycle has gone down 12.4%. Now, most people might be like, well, Jeff, it's only 12.4%. The grand scheme of things, not necessarily a big deal. And for some people's perspective, that is true. However, you got to remember, when you have a motorcycle and you're looking at trading it in and getting a trade value, all the cool shit you've done to it means nothing. There's no way to put a value on a 3-year-old set of handlebars, 3-year-old, you know, exhaust. There's just no way to put a value on those. So everything that you've done to your motorcycle, well, basically just kind of goes out the window. So, am I saying don't do things to your motorcycle? Absolutely not. I've done plenty of stuff to mine, which is a big thing as to why my trade value is not sitting well with me, because I put a lot of time, money, and effort into my motorcycle to make it how I want. I've done a lot of stuff to it, and to me, that has a value. Think about somebody who has a motorcycle with some sentimental value and what your perspective is, and now your bike is worth significantly less. So, when you think about the trade values going on right now, it's just going to keep going down. It's not going to go back up unless you have another swing in the market, which probably isn't going to necessarily happen. Now, I'll talk about that in a minute. So, if the market's not going to swing, your motorcycle is worth more now than it will be in the future. And I know that sounds common sense, but it's something you definitely need to really put into your head, because if you are considering trading, well, you got a big decision to make, okay? The market has shifted and things are no longer in your true favor as a buyer in the fact of trade value. If you don't have a trade, dude, you're in a good spot. You're in a favorable market for yourself to buy, simply because of the supply and demand curve. With inventory being on the ground, you don't have anything to trade in. You don't have any, deficit to worry about or negative equity to worry about. If you still owe money in your motorcycle, bam, you move into a new bike, you're good to go. But for most normal people in the Harley Davidson market who currently have a Harley Davidson motorcycle and are still making payments to the bank on said motorcycle, are in a rough spot. So here's the choice, and I can't make the choice for you. This is something that you got to think about on your own. Let's just say that you want to upgrade to a 24. The 24s are awesome. They're a lot of fun to ride. They have a lot of great features. They look good. I mean, they certainly keep growing on people. The 24 sales have been super so far, and you want to trade out on the 24. Do you take the hit on your trade and trade it in with the market value being where it is, or do you sit and wait? Now, like I said, I don't have a good answer for you. However, I do have a piece of information I will share. But as of now, like I said, your trade value is just going to depreciate. You're going to lose money on your motorcycle. So, do you keep it? Do you wait, trade it in later, or do you make the jump now? Depends on your specific situation and how much you owe on your motorcycle, and what kind of equity or negative equity situation that you may be in. And also, I mean, how bad do you really want a 24? And that's something that you have to make that decision based on all those factors. Now, like I said, general knowledge to the thing is the market's going to continue to go down. Now, don't think for a second that Harley Davidson doesn't make an attempt to control the market value on Harley Davidson motorcycles, because they do. Now, most people would say, well, they can't do that. Well, technically they can, as long as you're not, making any type of securities violations, but you can control the trade value. You get to control the supply and demand curve. You get to control the inventory curve based on your production. So the more motorcycles you produce, obviously you're looking at a supply and demand curve and a projection, you have the ability to dictate how many motorcycles that you put out, which therefore dictates the supply and demand curve. Now, the big thing is the cool thing is, demand for motorcycles is up. A lot of people want to ride. A lot of new people are getting into riding. I've been seeing this personally, where a lot of new people who've never ridden before want to get into riding, and a lot of people are going to touring bikes. So the market value definitely, is an active place. Now, if it were me, like I said, in my specific situation, I love my motorcycle. I love a twin cam motorcycle. I know everything about it. I just did a full service on my motorcycle 2 days ago. Didn't have any issues. Didn't need to look anything up. Wasn't, out of knowledge because things are new. I do not feel the same way about the 24s. Personally, I just don't know enough about them. I'm not a technician, so there's a lot of different things with those motorcycles. So that would be something that, I'd have to look up. But I love my motorcycle. I've done a lot of stuff to my motorcycle to make it mine. It is completely not the same since I bought it. It is definitely not the same as it was when it was stock out of the showroom. My motorcycle still has relatively low miles, especially for the year. So I can continue to ride this bike for a long, long time. Now, this bike has some sentimental value to me. My oldest son lives in Colorado, and when we were out visiting, he did make a comment to me and said, you can never get rid of your motorcycle because we've worked on your bike together, and I really enjoyed that time wrenching on motorcycles with you. So definitely has a sentimental value to me. So it wouldn't make any sense for me to take the loss on the strict stock value of the motorcycle, plus all the money that I've put into everything else on this motorcycle. It just doesn't make sense to me. Even though I like the 24s, a lot more power, the ride modes, the technology, the lighting is just amazing. So there's a lot of great reasons to go to a 24, but for me, it just doesn't financially make sense to increase my payment, increase the amount of money that I owe on a motorcycle. And like I said, I would lose all of the capital that I have already invested in the motorcycle. So it's just not a good decision for me. So when you think about this, and I strongly urge you, jump online, check out your trade value, see what's going on with it, especially if you're one of those people who may be considering trading your motorcycle in. Take a look at your trade value, because people are expected to go to the dealership and they're expected to get, you know, top dollar for their motorcycle, and top dollar isn't what you think top dollar is right now. Like I said, I deal with this every single day when I go to work. So people's expectations are much higher than what the market would dictate, and it's just simply not possible to make some of these things happen for people. And everybody always wants top dollar for their motorcycle. They definitely think it's worth a lot. They have a relationship with it. You've made memories on the thing, so it holds a value that nobody could really ever, you know, put a true measurement on the value of your bike to you personally. So that becomes difficult. Now, like I said, it's a decision you got to make if you want to do a trade. One thing to consider, and I'll give you a piece of information, is that Harley has curbed its production. They're slowing production down. I do not have a specific amount for you. I just know it is, you know, on the downswing. So that could mean that there's just a ton of motorcycles out there. They've flooded the market, and they're trying to curb that supply and demand curve and bring things back to, you know, a more realistic situation for them specifically, which I completely get. If I was the CEO of the motor company, it would be all about me and the business and what we're doing. But they're curbing production. Does that mean other new stuff is on the way? I don't know. We don't know anything yet. So I've already started making some early predictions for next year, and one of the things that I predict is I'm not sure that they'll have a Road Glide or Ultra Limited with the platform of the new Street Glide or Road Glide. I think they may just go with the liquid cooled head base bike that they have now, and you can buy different packages and put a tour pack on it. So I'm not quite sure. A lot of people love limiteds. I don't know, but in Harley simplifying the market, they have definitely created an upset in market value, and I'm just not sure what's going to end up happening from here on. But just know that production has been cut a little bit. Like I said, I don't know to what degree. That is always a secret. However, it is harder to get motorcycles, specific motorcycles, so that should let you know that supply and demand curve may be about to change. And I'm not one of those like financial forecasting people whatsoever, because if so, I would love to forecast that I win the lotto and then I can just ride in YouTube full time and not have to go to work. That would be fantastic, but I don't have the ability to do that. So might it be a situation where in a few months, with production changing, that it changes the supply and demand curve and your trade value goes back up? Maybe. Very well maybe. Like I said, I can't make that forecast because there's just not enough information out there. I don't know enough information to know what the situation realistically is. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Just wanted to talk about it. It's been something I've been thinking about for a little bit lately, especially with the movement of everybody. It's summertime. Everybody's out riding and looking at motorcycles and having a good time. And trade value just seems to be something that always comes up in my mind and thinking about what's going on. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you've checked out your trade value and what you think, or go check it out and then leave a comment and let me know what you think. Be interesting to see. As always, guys, I got good content coming out. Please stay tuned to the channel, and I appreciate you spending your time here. And let's show our appreciation to those that sacrifice for us so we can be out riding free. Until next time, we'll catch you later.